Alrighty, so it's halftime in the game between Orlando versus the Chicago Fire, where a little hint of what has happened in that game. Definitely has been a more interesting game than I thought, and it got a little bit spicy at the end, but we'll talk more about that game in tonight's review. Right now, we're just going to do a quick preview of the Sunday game, and we start off with Charlotte FC taking on Atlanta United, and this is going to be the first time where we actually see a matchup that Charlotte is involved, where they actually have history against their opponent, because this is a matchup that happened just a couple of weeks ago, I believe back in match week number 3. And also, if you're going to take a shot every time the commentator in this game is going to mention that this could be a new rivalry, just don't. Because you're probably going to end up in a hospital with the way that last time when I watched this game and how it was on national television and how every time they mentioned this could be a new rivalry, yeah, it was like 10 to 20 times each time. And I think with this game being on ABC, don't be surprised either Taylor Twellman or John Champion's going to mention the fact that, yeah, this is going to be a new rivalry, even though, this is only their second meeting, and that we don't even have a name in terms of this new rivalry. I mean, it was also kind of cringe last time when I think in the Fox broadcast that one of the commentator, it wasn't Stu Holding because he didn't commentate that game, but I think it was that British guy that I forgot what was his name is. He kind of mentioned that this is the no name rivalry, which that's when I just feel like, yeah, just stop, because let's not really just force this to be a rivalry when you don't even have an actual name in terms of it. But this game will start at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, 10:30 p.m. Pacific, but the actual kickoff is 1:38 p.m. local time, as I mentioned. This game is on ABC. Charlotte, of course, coming into this game with a 2-0-4 record, while Atlanta has a 3-1-1 record. And as I mentioned, Atlanta did win the last match 2-1 against Charlotte FC. But in terms of Charlotte and their life in MLS, it's actually have been pretty good. I mean, for an expansion team, it's even though they only won 2 out of the first 6 games, it is still a better record compared to some of the previous expansion team that have come into the league with the likes of Austin, FC Cincinnati, and even Nashville SC, and especially Inter Miami. But in their first game, they lost 3-0 against DC United. They lost their home opener 1-0 against the Galaxy. Then they lost 2-1 against Atlanta United in the last match, in a game where, yeah, they were really hard done. The fact that they lost that game because, they really play well in that one, and they were undone because of a deflection goal, which is kind of the thing that Charlotte has been trying to fight against, at least in the first 3 games. But they finally did get their first win in franchise history against New England, winning 3-1 at home. They followed that with another win against FC Cincinnati by a score of 2-0. But in the last game, they did lose 2-0 to the Philadelphia Union. For Atlanta United, so far it's been an okay start for Atlanta fans. I mean, 3-1-1 is definitely not a bad start, but I can tell that with so much expectation that Atlanta fans have had in this team, they would feel like maybe they should have done better. But they did get a 3-1 win at home against Sporting KC before the following week. They suffered the only loss so far this season, a 3-0 loss to Colorado. They did win 2-1 against Charlotte, drew 3 not against Charlotte. That is actually the wrong team. It's actually Montreal that they draw 3-3 there. So let me just fix that. Yeah, and that was considered a win for Atlanta United because they were down 3-1 in that game while with only 10 men, and they were able to come back in the last 15 minutes to salvage a draw. And then in the last game, and again, I made another mistake here. Yeah, there we go. Atlanta, of course, win 1-0 against DC. It's early in the morning. I mean, I didn't really get a lot of sleep last night, so apologies if I did make some mistake here on the board. And plus, I usually don't do video this early in the morning. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this game is going to go. Obviously, the big storyline coming into this game, no Joseph Martinez, and it's going to be the case for Atlanta for these next 6 to 8 weeks. And with how of a slow start that he has this season, you just wonder, is there something kind of bother with Joseph Martinez? And indeed it was. I mean, unfortunately, it's that knee injury, and that, yeah, I mean, that knee injury that he has. I'm not sure is it related to the torn ACL that he suffered just a couple of years ago, but this is definitely not good news for Atlanta fans. Consider they thought that Joseph Martinez has fully recovered from that torn ACL that he suffered just a couple of years ago, and now he's back on the injured list, and that they hope that he's not going to be in a case where he's going to start to be injury prone, because they really need him in terms of stepping up on the goal scoring department. But moving on into the last game of match week number 6 is Austin versus Minnesota. So this game will start at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific, but the actual kickoff is 6:55 p.m. local time, and this game is also on national television on FS1. Both of these teams have identical record, 2 wins, 2 draw, and 1 losses. And in terms of the all-time meeting, Minnesota does leads that series 2-0-1 over Los Verdes. But in terms of Austin start the season, I mean, they start the season red hot with them winning 5-0 against FC Cincinnati and then winning 5-1 against Inter Miami. And we knew that was not going to be sustainable. And I know right now there's already some naysayers are saying that, yeah, that first 2 games that they had was just because of the fact that they were playing against easy opponent. And, you know, when you look at their next 3 games, they still haven't got a win ever since they got off to that hot start. They lost 1-0 against the Timber and then drew 1-1 against Seattle. And in the last game, they probably should have won against the Quakes. I mean, they had a 2-0 lead, and then Josh Wu thought that it was a great idea to just kind of park the bus for the last 30 minutes, and yeah, it backfired big time with the Quakes scoring 2 quick goals to salvage a 2-2 draw on that one. While for Minnesota, they did suffer their first loss last week against Seattle, and in some way, it was coming with the way that, again, I know I'm sometimes being very too harsh with the Loons, but I saw it coming with the way that, you know, this incredible good defensive structure that this team has is not gonna be sustainable, and especially my worry with the goal scoring of this team, and I still have some worry with this goal scoring of this team. They find themselves down, they're not going to come back, and it was the case in that game against Seattle. Though I will say that they came close in terms of doing it, and they did put a late fury to trying to salvage a draw in that one. But besides that, they got a 1-1 draw against the Philadelphia Union, a 1-1 draw against Nashville SC, a 1-0 win against the New York Red Bulls that they must thank Nate Sinclair for the reason why they won that game. They had a 1-0 win against the San Jose Earthquakes before, as I mentioned, they lost 2-1 against the Seattle Sounders. And yeah, you know, I'm actually not confident coming into this game because we know that Austin, you know, at least so far from what they've shown at home, they are a very dangerous team. I mean, I feel like for Austin, they're kind of one of those teams, at least in the beginning of the season, that has kind of showed 2 sides. Like there's one side of them that show that they're very dominant, which is kind of their home side, and then there's the road side where they're definitely not very dominant, and that, you know, this is also a team that is considered one of the worst road team in the league. And because of the fact that they're playing at home and they do have that fans behind them at Q2 Stadium, yeah, it's not going to be easy. And I know Minnesota did win the last time they played against Austin, and the only meeting that they play against Austin at Q2 Stadium. But remember, this is a complete different Verdes team and a more rejuvenated Verdes team that I think the Loons are going to be have to face a tough challenge. And that, you know this is also going to be a matchup that is going to be between one of the better defensive team against one of the strongest attacking team, that is Austin FC, who's tied with LAFC with the most goals scored so far this season. So yeah, let's see how this game, of course, would turn out. But there you have it. That is pretty much it for the preview of these 2 games. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think of this video, and also make sure you leave your prediction for both of these games that's going to be happening tomorrow. But until then, hope you guys enjoy this video, and I will see you guys next time.